Ron Howard's story begins in Duncan, Oklahoma, where he was born in 1954 into a modest household shaped by ambition rather than comfort. His parents, Gene Spiegel Howard and Rance Howard, were young actors determined to build meaningful careers despite limited resources. When Hollywood beckoned, they packed up their lives and moved west with little money but immense belief in themselves. The family settled into a small apartment where every dollar mattered, and stability was built through persistence rather than luck. Growing up in this environment, Ron absorbed lessons that would stay with him forever: discipline, gratitude, and the importance of showing up every day even when progress felt invisible. Fame was never treated as the goal in the Howard household. Instead, effort and integrity mattered most, creating a grounded foundation that quietly prepared Ron for a life in an unpredictable industry. A child actor shaped by structure, not stardom. Ron's entry into acting came early, but it was handled with unusual care. At just 4 years old, he appeared in his first film role, and by 6, he was cast as Opie Taylor on The Andy Griffith Show. The series ran from 1960 to 1968 and turned Ron into one of America's most recognizable child actors. Despite the attention, his parents worked tirelessly to protect his childhood. They saved nearly all of his earnings, lived modestly, and kept his routine as normal as possible. Ron attended school, did homework, and spent time with family, learning that work did not define his worth. This balance helped him avoid many pitfalls associated with early fame. Acting became a job rather than an identity, allowing Ron to grow steadily rather than burn out under expectations he never asked for, growing up under the spotlight. The transition from child actor to teenager was not seamless. As Ron grew older, roles became less frequent and uncertainty crept in. Auditions didn't always lead anywhere, and the industry's unpredictability became impossible to ignore. Then, in 1974, everything shifted when he was cast as Richie Cunningham on Happy Days. The role brought renewed fame and financial success, turning Ron into a symbol of wholesome American youth. Yet even at the height of popularity, he felt something stirring beneath the surface. While grateful for success, Ron found himself increasingly curious about storytelling itself. He watched directors closely, studied how scenes were constructed, and paid attention to choices audiences never saw. Unlike many peers drawn deeper into celebrity culture, Ron quietly looked beyond acting, sensing that his long-term future might exist somewhere behind the camera rather than in front of it. The quiet question that refused to fade. Even as Happy Days dominated television, Ron wrestled with a persistent internal question about purpose. Acting had given him opportunity, stability, and recognition, yet it no longer felt like a complete expression of who he was becoming. This wasn't dissatisfaction or frustration, but a growing curiosity about creative control. He wanted to shape stories rather than simply perform them. During downtime on set, Ron observed directors, editors, and writers, absorbing knowledge without announcing his intentions. The idea of directing felt daunting, especially when acting offered security and comfort. Still, the question lingered: was staying the safest option also the most limiting? Over time, curiosity outweighed fear. Ron realized that ignoring this pull might lead to regret far greater than failure. The desire to grow creatively became impossible to dismiss, quietly setting the stage for a bold decision: walking away from acting at its peak. In 1980, Ron Howard made a move that stunned Hollywood. At the height of Happy Days, he stepped away from acting to pursue directing full-time. Many saw the decision as reckless, even self-sabotaging. He was walking away from steady income, public affection, and a proven career path. For Ron, however, the choice was deeply personal and carefully considered. Acting had served its purpose, but directing felt like the future he needed to explore honestly. This was not rejection of success, but respect for growth. He understood the risks, yet trusted his preparation, discipline, and instincts. The transition required humility, as he had to prove himself again from the bottom. But that challenge energized him. Leaving acting behind was not an ending. It was a declaration that creative fulfillment mattered more than comfort. Finding his voice. Behind the camera. Ron's early directing projects quickly silenced doubts. Films like Splash and Cocoon revealed a filmmaker with emotional sensitivity and clear vision. Audiences connected deeply with his stories, and critics noted his ability to balance warmth with structure. Ron directed with an actor's empathy and a storyteller's discipline, creating films that felt accessible yet thoughtful. These successes established him as far more than a former actor trying something new. He demonstrated consistency, reliability, and instinct, earning trust across the industry. Each project refined his confidence, proving that his leap away from acting had been justified. Rather than chasing trends, Ron focused on human-centered stories, prioritizing emotional resonance over spectacle. This approach allowed his work to endure, building a reputation for sincerity and craftsmanship that would define the rest of his career. Building a creative empire with Imagine Entertainment. In 1986, Ron took another pivotal step by co-founding Imagine Entertainment with Brian Grazer. This partnership gave him creative ownership and long-term stability, allowing him to shape projects from concept to completion. Imagine quickly became one of Hollywood's most influential production companies, responsible for a wide range of films and television series. For Ron, this wasn't just about success, it was about sustainability. Ownership meant freedom to choose meaningful projects and support diverse storytelling. Through Imagine, he helped produce culturally significant work while maintaining creative integrity. The company reflected Ron's values: collaboration, discipline, and vision. It also allowed him to mentor emerging talent and expand his impact beyond directing alone. Imagine Entertainment transformed Ron from a filmmaker into a creative architect, securing his place as a lasting force in the industry. Personal trials and the strength of family. Behind professional success, Ron's life included deeply human challenges. His family faced difficulties that required patience, resilience, and compassion, reinforcing values learned in childhood. Through loss and hardship, Ron remained grounded by his marriage to Cheryl Alley, whom he married in 1975. Their partnership, built on trust and stability, became an anchor in an often chaotic industry. Together, they raised 4 children with an emphasis on normalcy rather than celebrity. Family dinners, shared experiences, and mutual support mattered more than public image. Even as Ron navigated grief and responsibility, his commitment to family never wavered. These experiences shaped his worldview, reminding him that success meant little without connection. They also deepened his storytelling, adding emotional authenticity to his work and reinforcing the importance of empathy both on and off screen. A legacy defined by purpose, not fame. Today, Ron Howard's legacy extends far beyond his filmography. With decades of influence behind him, he continues to create, mentor, and give back through philanthropy and storytelling. His success is measured not only in awards or wealth, but in longevity, integrity, and balance. Ron's journey demonstrates that reinvention requires courage and patience, and that growth often demands leaving comfort behind. From a child actor shaped by discipline to a director defined by vision, he has remained guided by curiosity rather than ego. His life offers a powerful reminder that true fulfillment comes from aligning talent with purpose. Ron Howard's story is not about chasing fame, but about building a meaningful life, one choice, one risk, and one story at a time.